Hey, my cyber babies. It's the even more fabulous, spastically insane, crazy with a wild and wicked sense of humor. Is it word? I keep watching the board when she. Yeah, why these people don't even understand that this is a live program? I got the camera, I got the light, I got the audio, we got the video, and they just think I'm just doing this, off the rip. Well, sometimes I do because life is off the rip, and you never know where it's going to take you unless, even when you're prepared, you don't even know what you're going to do. That's why it's important to have a plan. That's why it is important for you and you and you and you and you, all of us, to understand we're not here by happen chance. We're here for a mission. We're here for an assignment. And we have to be on our assignment. And oftentimes, it looked kind of big, ginormous. Like, really? Well, what would I do? Why would you call me? Why would you think I would want to do something like that? And why not you? That has been the answer to a lot of things that I have said about my life. Well, why are you doing it? And the answer would be, well, why not you? And I'll be like, because, and I couldn't even get the cause out, like, because when you know it's your assignment, it's your assignment. And a lot of us, oftentimes, especially us, because you know who's going to fix the world. You know who is going to fix the world, right? Don't even talk to me. You know who's going to fix the world? It's going to be us. It's going to be us collectively. See, if you want to compartmentalize it, that's on you. And sometimes you need to compartmentalize because you got to know what department that you're in and what your expertise is and how you can deliver to the whole of the situation, of the community, of your family. I mean, when you think about it, we all have to work together. And then, as human beings, they said we were at the top of the food chain, so I took that literally, right? And as the world is changing ever so rapid, it's moving so fast. The whole computer, all the chips and the dips and we got to do all of these things, and it is becoming more and more efficient, more faster. It takes a lot of thinking, but you know what? It really doesn't take a lot of thinking because artificial intelligence will think for us. And at first, it was like when I got my first computer, and I got the computer, and they kept saying, "You need a computer, mother. You need a computer." I'm like, "Why do I need a computer? I don't need a computer." I mean, it was all fancy and everything, and it had all. It sat in my office. I'm gonna say a good 6 months. I wouldn't open it up. I didn't want anybody else to open it up. I didn't want to see what was in there. I didn't want to know, explicitly the power that it had. And it was artificial intelligence. And so I'm like, no. And everybody, well, what's wrong with you? Why don't you open up the box? Let me know. Don't you touch it. Don't you touch it. Because I kept saying, evil is in that box. It was in my tiny head. They told us, the scientists say that human beings use 1/10 of our brain power. 1/10. Okay, so I thought about that. So if it's 1/10, then I got 10 tenths to make a whole. So I got a tenth here, there, back there, behind my ears, or whatever. And I'm thinking, this is what we only use this little teeny weeny much. And man came up with cars and airlines and flying and submarines and what do I call it? It's the garbage disposal, one of my favorite appliances. I'm just saying appliances, period. And we sit up and instead of using all that powerful energy that we have, so many people are using it to not do good, to not do well, to not work and do better. And yeah, we can be better. We've come a long way in this country. I mean, when you think about it, 400 years ago, well, however long it was, because I'm 412. I was there sitting over there working on my tan. And, when they come up to my 1690, I was there. In spirit, I was there. And it is important. It is important.
Okay.
Oh, hey,
Okay.
are we two Dr. Mother Loves? Hey, hello.
Uh, no, not yet. Not
Are we
yet.
still working with her?
Yes.
Okay. Well, because we got a powerhouse coming. Excuse me.
Technology is wonderful.
When it works, yes.
And
I'm gonna resend
this is
this
why they
link
don't
again.
know. That's why you don't allow me to touch the buttons. Okay. Hey, so anywho, I was talking to you all about, I didn't want my first computer. I didn't want to open it up. I did not want to open it up, and I didn't. And I wouldn't let anybody in that, that we were working with to open it up. And so it just sat there. And I'm not gonna do it. And then these two young guys, I think they were in New Jersey. And they called me up. They were watching this TV show I used to host, Forgive and Forget. And they were watching the show. And they said to each other, they didn't tell me till they called me. They said, hi, Mother Love. This is Brian and Greg. And we love you on your TV show. And we got a little radio thing that, no, he said, he didn't call it even the internet. He called it something else. He said, but we want to talk to you first. And then we're going to send it out here to the world. And I'm like, okay, yeah, right. Okay, then we have Walter Cronkite and Douglas Edwards with the news, and all the news people. And so they called me up. I did the interview. I answered all of their questions. Okay, it's fun. I'm a talker. I like talking, and was good to talk to younger people than me, because you guys see it from a different perspective. Like we saw it from a different perspective from our parents and our grandparents in the boomer phrase, and the ones who are the World War II, World War One, II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War. We all had all of that access to all what was going on with them. And so you guys all come from a different perspective. I come from a different perspective. And technology, I never would have thought would be my foyer. So, Mr. Kennedy, we still working. He Dr. Mr. Kennedy. I don't, it's cool. So when wait, all of my talking and all of my what you call him and what's the name and what's the name? Hey, Miss Lori Mitchell, I knew it. You know what? Sometimes I honestly believe Satan be trying to stop people from pooling their resources together and doing what they need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you thought, well, maybe Mother Love is just rambling about technology and she don't want to open up a computer and all of this other crazy talk. And I was letting you know from the raw point of my technological experiences that I wasn't feeling it. And then, I started getting better and better and better. And then I get to meet this lady, this visionary leader, this beautiful woman. That's Lori Mitchell, y'all. She created Black women in technology. And you know what I'm saying? When I first saw you up on the podium, I was like a little kid. I'm like, honey, can you get that? Make sure you get a picture. Wait a minute. And you came to talk to us about what you do. And I want to talk to you about what you do. Welcome to the program, Lori.
Thank you, Mother Love. Thank you, Dr. Mother Love. Thank you.
They told me to embrace it. I'm embracing it.
Yes. There you go.
So now let's talk about Lori Mitchell. Now you woke up one day with tell me where you're from. What's your
I'm
family?
from
Where are you got brothers and sisters? Who did you like in junior high school? Did you have to nick somebody with the butter knife? Did you walk into the room and they said, oh, that's trouble coming? Okay.
I'm from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the state capital. Philly is not the state capital. Harrisburg is. And I grew up here, and eventually I moved to LA for 8 years, and then I moved back to Pennsylvania
Mhm.
at the height of the pandemic.
It's a good thing you pretty, because that was crazy. You got on a flying peach. Did you fly? Did you go by train or bus when you left LA?
Oh, I went on the plane.
A flying petri dish in the middle of a pandemic.
Exactly. And didn't get sick, thank
And well,
God.
well, you know what they say. God watches over old folks, babies, and fools. And you could do some. Okay, okay. You don't even have to say anything after that because I already know we was on the food line. It's like, what? It's not gonna happen to me. No. So what brought you to LA from Harrisburg?
A job, a job. I was a consultant,
Mm,
and the hospital that I worked for was in 2012.
mhm,
And they liked the work that I did so much, they decided to hire me.
mhm.
And I went there to work and worked there for about 5 years, and then went on to a different position there in LA and worked there for a couple years.
So now, okay, that's your you know your grown up resume. I'm talking about Lori, the little girl. Lori, the
Oh,
12-year-old. Lori, who is saying, I can do anything I put my mind to. Even I don't care what they saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. Tell me what was that like for you growing up?
well, growing up, I was the oldest of five,
Mhm.
so I was bossy. And
No.
yeah, I was bossy and helped take care of my brother and sisters.
Mhm,
One of the things that I was proud of was the fact that I excelled in school.
mhm.
So that made me feel good about myself.
Okay, so you set the bar real high for them. Because
I did.
you know about the older kids. You know, now Lori, you have to set a good example for your brothers and sisters. And don't you go out there and make us look stupid. So you go out there and you go, wait, huh? And then you had when you were growing up, because you said you were bossy with your brothers and sisters, did they listen to you?
Not without a certain level of, let's see, force. Force, that's the right word. Force
Okay.
and threats and those types of things.
See, you know what? You know what? And you say it with such elegance. You
Thank
do.
you.
Hey, you do. And this, oh no, this is not gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt you. Because I know
Exactly.
what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Okay, so then where did you go to college? When did you know that was going to be your mission and your assignment? Where'd you go to school?
Well, what I did, I was interested in science and math when I
Mhm,
went to high school.
mhm,
And what I wanted to do, I wanted to excel in that
mhm,
by going to college. And I went to Millersville University in Lancaster, Pennsylvania,
mhm,
Millersville, Pennsylvania. And I went there primarily to become a lab person. I wanted to work in the lab. And eventually thinking that I would turn that into an opportunity to go to medical school. Well, that didn't happen.
Okay, wait, hold up. You're a young girl from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and you want to go into science and mathematics. And when you told people that this is what you wanted to do, what was that reaction like?
It was interesting because the school was predominantly white,
Mhm,
and there was a very small black population there. And, my parents were proud of me for
mhm,
going,
mhm,
and I got through with a complete scholarship. It was a full ride. I didn't have to pay to go. No student loans. I think I left with a loan that was $1,700. Um, And that,
Wait. Can you just say that again? Because so many people are coming out of college with this giant anvil around their neck with student
mhm.
debt and don't understand the power that they have. And when you didn't have that burden, you could just go fly anywhere you want to fly. Yeah, and
I
that's
could.
what our young people and the people behind us, we got to get that burden off of them. So when you didn't even have to deal with that. Oh, so here she come, here she come, here she come. Okay, shut up.
Well, I
Mhm.
worked and I went to school, and then, something happened one day, and I fell in love and decided to get married.
She said that so eloquently and so beautiful. Again, see, you're the kind of person that you could nick them in a jugular and they won't even know that they bleeding because you've done it so beautifully. Or you could do one of them Jedi mind tricks. Or you said, and something happened one day.
Yeah, it
Okay,
was.
and you fell in love. Now, was it a one day? Did you know from the beginning? Because I do believe in love at first sight. Did you know from the beginning, or did you have to work on it?
I
Or
had to
he had
work
to
on
work
it.
on it, or whoever had to work on it?
Yeah, we had to work on it. Then I decided, oh well, I guess this is the one. Yeah, it was, oh well. Yeah.
Go ahead on. See, you cannot choke the host. Okay. He said, oh, well, it happened one day. Oh, well. So we got married. I fell in love. Okay, yeah, right. But, the cavalier way that you approach this is like, it's no big deal. And like, I know that is such a big deal to say, I'm going to be committed to you.
It was a huge deal, and it was something that I don't think I was ready for.
Oh, that
Uh,
was when shut up. Don't say it, mother love. Don't say it. Don't say it. You were
Sad.
young. You were young.
Yeah, I was 22.
Panties on fire. Panties on fire.
Might as well, as you might as well tell the truth. You ain't lying.
I'm done. And so you said, okay, well, yeah, this feels real good. I like it. No wonder my mother told me to stay away from this. And you got married.
I got married, and I was pure as the driven snow when I got married. And yeah, no joke.
Okay, wait. Okay, wait. So they keep saying you don't exist. You were a unicorn.
I
You were
was a
a
unicorn.
unicorn. Oh my, okay.
I was
See, you're bringing
definitely a
up too much stuff
unicorn.
in me. You know what? And I want to get back to the science and the math. Okay, go ahead, because this is even better than science and math.
Oh yeah. Then there were, 11 years full of stuff. I got to tell you that 11 years full of stuff, and then we broke apart and got divorced.
Mhm.
And then
Did you outgrow each other?
no, there were some other.
Oh, see, I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it. Shut up, mother love. I have to tell her all the time to shut up over here.
Yeah, there were some other,
Issues.
that's for a different show.
Oh, so that means we get Lori Mitchell 2.0. Okay, so now you get married, you get divorced. We're there 11 years, so at 22, so you're 33. You're still in your prime, in your jest and what you can do. And so then you said, this is what I'm going to do. When did you come up and step up and say, this is what I'm supposed to do?
Well, I went to school and became a respiratory therapist, and that involves the science and the math, and it was clinical, and I was able to go and help people and take care of people to help them breathe. And I eventually did that for 15 years. But up to that point, I also wanted to go into something else to get my bachelor's degree, because when I got married, I didn't get my bachelor's degree. I had 3 years in, I had 1 year left to go, and decided to get married. So I tell all young women, don't do that.
Yeah. Did you see my face go to really? And we do that.
It's
we'll go,
true.
oh, I believe this is a better plan. And when you look at it in hindsight, you go, I should not. I didn't mean to do that. That was kind of stupid. But
Yeah,
look how you
yeah.
made up for it. So, see, it wasn't stupid. It was a learning lesson.
It was a lesson, and I think it's a lesson that I think most of us can avoid if we just listen to somebody,
Mm.
give some sage advice. So when you think you're grown, you think you're grown. That's the problem.
See, I just want you to know right now, I'm holding on to the edge of my desk right here. You see, I'm moving.
You are,
I'm
yeah,
holding on because speak the truth, shame the devil. We can make much more positive decisions when we listen to somebody and we
yes,
trust that somebody, because a lot of people can listen to somebody, and even in the bad listening, they will get, for instance, just like you see the gangbangers on the street corner, and they're trying to groom the other young people to come up and show them they're listening to them. Just like when you go into the classroom and you're taking your civics class or your social. Do they even teach civics and social studies? Shut up, mother love. And you trust what they're telling you. You have to, and that is not an easy feat, especially in this day and time. And to have the wherewithal and the discernment to be able to say, I can trust that person. I'm
yes,
gonna listen to what they say. I'm
yes.
gonna listen to what they do. I'm gonna watch what they do. So you had folk coming in there, and were you almost like sitting at their knee like, okay, wait, can you go back?
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, because I started to learn a lot, how to be an adult,
Mm-hmm.
because I had three small children, and I had to be a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
One of the children was born with a rare chromosomal problem. And so she was eventually placed in a nursing home.
Oh my
And
goodness.
that was one of the saddest days of my life. But the other two children were well, and I had to manage them as well, to be a mom to all three.
Mm-hmm.
So I
And
had my
actually a
struggle.
different mom to them from their
Yes,
sister. Because
yeah,
so was she cognitive? Did she know who you were?
no, no, I don't think she did. I would like to think that she did,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm mommy, and I'm like, there's no way in the world this girl don't know me. But
Mm-hmm.
but she was an ill child.
Mm-hmm.
And so, long story short, she lived to be 10 years old before she passed away. So the year that I got my
I can't
divorce,
even imagine. Oh my God. Okay. We were having, I could not even imagine.
no, it was, I was down for the count.
Uh,
I was down. I was down for the count.
How'd
And
you keep yourself together for your other two children? Because you can't fall apart all the way apart because you got them to take care of.
well, what I did a lot of working.
Mm-hmm.
I did a lot of working. I worked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was difficult to work in a hospital because of being in that environment. She died in a hospital, and everything. It was very difficult to get through. It was very difficult to get through. I had to make a lot of decisions for myself. I had to tell myself, one, I'm not going to go crazy. Two, I'm depressed. I had to be honest and say I am depressed.
And
And
so
what I
many,
had to,
and so many of us would never ever say that. We'll never speak it out loud. If you don't speak it out loud, there's no way you can, get a way to make that better. If you just holding it in and pressing it down it's going to explode. And and I don't look really good with like explosive eyeballs and stuff coming out my nose. And it's very difficult. My way out was humor. My way out was laughter. Your way out was work. And you
yes,
knew it. You had to, and you gotta do it. You
yes,
know
I
you
had
have
to
to
do
do
it.
it. So how old
Yeah.
are your kids now?
Oh my goodness, my son is 38 and my
Oh,
daughter's 36.
okay. You know what? We ain't even go get the picture of down in the basement where the picture's getting older and aging, and you're not. Okay. I want to see the evidence.
You
I
think
want to
I
see
got
the
a
picture.
Dorian Gray picture
Yeah,
down in the
you got a
basement.
Dorian Gray. See, most people don't even know the portrait of Dorian Gray. Oh, see, this is why this is so cool, Lori. This is why this is so cool. The powerhouse that you are with Black women in technology and teaching other young women, even moderate women. I mean, I'm looking at your website. I'm like, oh wow, that's. And by the way, your website is off the chain. I
Ain't it
want pink
something?
eyelashes. I want pink eyelashes.
You want pink
I
eyelashes
want, I
too?
want, I want y'all to do the whole thing for me for a mother love thing
Well, I have
in
pink.
honor of Black women in technology. See, put your hand.
This is Black Women in Tech Pink.
Oh, you got your own color. Thank you very much. And that's what I want. I want pink eyelashes. And so I was calling myself getting to it with the rose and what have you. I was just saying. I mean, what you are doing. When did you know that it was important for you to you have all this information in your head, you have all these skills, you have all this wisdom. When did you know I can do, I got to do? Because it's not, did you sit up and think about this, or did it just slap you in the head and you go, wait a minute, hold up, that's too big, wait a minute, that's too much, I got kids, what you talking about me? Oh, wait a minute, that's
Well,
me. Wait a minute, hold on, that's me, I'm having a flashback.
uh-oh,
Okay,
uh-oh.
I'm back. This
Release
is
it.
Lori Mitchell. This is Lori Mitchell, my new girlfriend. She is the CEO and founder of Black Women in Technology. See, they don't think I know what I'm doing. I do my, because
You,
this is
you,
important.
you.
When did you know that this is what you were supposed to do?
Well, I'll tell you a little story. In 1996, I said
Mm-hmm.
a little prayer
Mm-hmm.
because the internet had come out. And I asked God to help me not get behind.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't want to be behind. And I got a computer. I was blessed with a computer. So I did some work for this organization. They gave me a free computer and I was able to get on the internet. And I learned some things and I thought this is pretty cool. I like this internet stuff. I think I like this computer stuff. I learned how to take a computer apart and put it back together, and it worked, and I was doing all kinds of things and configuring my computer, and it was awesome. So I was doing the same thing at work. I was a respiratory therapist, but I became the system admin over our electronic medical record system that we use. So I did that. And I thought, well, I think I'm going to go back to school and get my bachelor's degree since I didn't finish. So I went to Penn State University Harrisburg campus and I talked to them. And next thing you know, I'm enrolled. I'm enrolled in their information systems program.
So now, the tone is like, I didn't expect that. I mean, how many respiratory therapists go and can take a computer down, put it back together, and you had no parts left over? Because don't ask me to put something together. It's going to be 15 pieces that's going to be left on the floor. And I mean, this was like in your brain. Did you ever think that you would do something like that? Did you know you had
No,
that in you?
no. It was. So being a respiratory therapist is a little technical.
Yeah.
So we kind of like taking stuff apart and putting it back together anyway. So this
And then you
doing
make
the
us
computer.
breathe into that funny machine to make the ball go up the chest and lungs, and you know how much mucus you're spewing out of your lungs. Oh, that's me again.
That's right.
But
I
that's what
suck snot
I
for a
I
living.
I absolutely thank you for your service on behalf of all the respiratory therapists. And this is why you guys are why am still able to speak. And I said, I'm not holding stuff, but I do have to hold stuff back. And I censor myself, and I got a cuss jar over here by my desk, because sometimes I can't help myself, but sometimes you got to cuss people out because they don't understand. And you got to, so you take respiratory therapy and you turn it, because like you said, it's technical. So what do we not understand about respiratory therapy, and why is that important? Because a lot of people, especially smokers, don't understand the importance of taking care of your lungs and your breathing.
Well, I give you an example. People that smoke end up having a problem with their oxygen level
Mm-hmm.
because of the carbon monoxide that they breathe in. So what happens is we need to understand as respiratory therapists how much oxygen to give should a person need it.
Mm-hmm.
If a person needs it, if we give them too much oxygen, we can put them in a worse state than what they are if we didn't give them that much oxygen. So we have to have that knowledge. We have to have that understanding. We got to know how to deal with the oxygen. We got to know how to deal with the oxygen tank. We need to know how to deal with those breathing machines that you see on television that they
Mm-hmm.
put people on. So we need to learn how to deal with all of that. And we need to know how to clearly communicate with a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and gain trust of the doctor. So we gain trust, the doctor trusts us with the patient, and we're able to take care of the patient the way that they see fit. So it was a lot of work. It was 3 years of school, and took my kids with me to study, to do my lab studying and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my kids went to school with me, and they went to school with me when I went to Penn State as well.
So they're sucking this up with a flavor straw. You are standing there, right there, as their matriarch, and they're well, no one. So now, what do your kids do? Because have they taken after you?
Well, my son likes to work in tech.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to work with the help desk to help people understand how to do the technology. He's very patient,
Mm.
and he's a cool kid. And my daughter, she's a stay-at-home mom, and what she
You're
does,
somebody's grandmother. Oh my God, they got the cool grand.
oh yeah,
What's your grandma name?
my mom.
See, we. Hey, my mom, I'm Awa.
Yeah, they got my mom.
Hey, see, we got to have grandma names because I'm too cool to be called grandma. It's 11,000 grandmas I want to separate like you are. Now, did you get that name or did they just start calling you that? Because sometimes that happens.
My daughter ushered them to the mom part of it.
Wait, so that goes back to the threatening and no. The threatening skills that you passed along from you to your daughter. Okay, technology. Why? What do you want Black women to know and understand about the power and the resilience and the growth of technology and why we need to be involved? Because like I told you earlier, I had a computer sitting on the floor, 3 years old, took it out, and they told me it was obsolete already. That's why I don't like computers. Okay, and artificial intelligence, oh my God, it makes me sound like a genius. No, but that's cheating. I think it's cheating. Tell us about, to get me off the roof, about, and the importance of our young Black women to be in technology.
Well, I think all Black women need to be in technology. I just turned 60. And
she just keep throwing it up. Get the picture out the basement. Okay, go ahead. I'm shutting up. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
So what we need to do, we need to understand there's some phases that we're going through. Young people are just coming out and getting jobs. You have those of us middle age, we're winding down, and then you have those that are 60 and over, we're winding down as facing retirement. Well, what we need to do is be able to have a skill set where we can be able to accumulate funds, make money, and do it richly without having to go work at Target. There's nothing wrong with working at Target, but I don't want to be 65 working at Target. I can be 65 working on my computer and making the money that you make when you work those jobs. So my thing is technology changed my life. Technology changed my life. It increased me economically. It helped my children. It helped my community. It helped everybody because I was put in a new bracket, new earning bracket. So that's what I think Black women should consider. You don't have to work in a retail job. You don't have to work just sitting behind a desk for the state. You can work in these environments where you can make substantial amounts of money to be able to live your life. And it's not that you're going to live your life ostentatiously.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with it. You're just trying to. I was glad that I was able to pay my rent.
Can we how keep the lights on?
I wasn't asking for a whole lot. I wasn't
Basic
asking for a whole lot.
necessities.
But I made money and I was able to take care of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made me feel like I made the right decision. And there is a knowledge base that women need to feel comfortable with. I met a lot of women who work in tech, and they are so smart.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these women are like off the charts smart. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like, they're smarter than I am. But, me, the engineers and the creating platforms
Mm-hmm.
and doing all this sort of thing. So there's a significant number of us doing that, but there's still only 2 to 3% of Black women who work in tech companies compared with their white counterparts. So we need to up the game and we need to feel comfortable about working in those environments. There's nothing wrong with working in an environment. So what, the people don't talk to you, fine, don't talk to them.
Just make sure my paycheck clear.
That's all I care about. Make sure I got paid. I don't need to make friends at work. This is work. So people need to feel comfortable going in that direction and not worried about some of the things that inhibit us before. Those white people going to talk about me. Those white people said this about me. They said this about me. Again, is my check in the bank? That's all I worry about. We're going to face certain things. We're going to face discrimination. We're going to face, people with their microaggressions. We're going to face that. But if they can dish it out, they can take it. I was labeled an angry black woman. I was an angry Black woman because the young kids in the department didn't like how I spoke because I have a strong voice.
Oh, wait, hold on for a minute. Can we have a moment for them? Moment's over. Go on with the story.
Yeah, so they didn't like my voice. They thought I was being bossy. And I mean, I'm the oldest of 5. Of course I sound like this.
And you are bossy, and you're comfortable in your bossy skin. So what they needed to do was put on their adult big boy drawers and big girl panties and understand what leadership looks like.
Well,
And
it's
a lot of
true.
people are
And
threatened by that,
my manager went right along with it, which really made me angry. So what I did was not professional. I was very unprofessional, and I let her have it, and I refused to sign the paper. I was
Do you
very
love her?
unprofessional.
Do you love this woman right here, right now, standing in the gap, standing at the leadership stairs to show us that we too can do this? And I don't think that you're aggressive or bossy. I would appreciate, because you want somebody to be able to tell you or show you how you can be better, how you can be smarter, how you can do this. And don't we always underestimate ourselves, especially our women.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that, I just want to encourage women to join the ranks of tech. Join the ranks of tech. You don't even need to go to school. Sure, you can go to school. You can become computer science major, information systems major, an engineer. You can do those things. But the internet has leveled the playing field. There's so much free stuff out on the internet. It is obscene. It is free. You can teach yourself how to do things. If you have the discipline to sit down and teach yourself, you can definitely do that. And as for artificial intelligence,
can you let me be the host to go into the next question?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm cool with it because artificial intelligence, it's here. It's been here for quite some time, and people just don't understand that this isn't a new technology. This isn't no. I've been doing it for the duration. You should see what my resume look like. I look all
Mm.
important, and all I gotta do is say, "Okay, give me a resume for Mother Love," and they come all up with that. And I'm the first one on the on what is it on the SEO, the search engine
Yes,
optimization.
yes, yes. Look at you.
Oh, I learn every day, and let me tell you, and this is the computers and technology. It's extremely addicting because you want to know what's the next thing, what's the latest. Oh, I found this. I'm a master, past master at this. Okay, what's the next thing? Listen to the kids talk about one of our young nephews. I think he's like 11. He said, Auntie, because I'm always asking him, give me a praise report. What's going on with you, baby?
Mhm.
Don't sit up and tell me, oh, what you doing? Nothing. Oh, where you been? Nowhere. Oh, who you talk to? Nobody. Click. I want to hear a praise report. And he says, and my thing is when I tell them that, I said, don't ever tell me you're not doing, and don't tell me you ain't doing nothing. You better tell me you making ice cream. Don't sit up and tell me you ain't doing. He told me, this was a couple weeks ago. He told me, he said, Auntie, I'm going to be a graphic designer.
Oh, nice.
He 11 years old. Most dudes at 11 years old don't even remember before the first 10 years. And he is so laser focused. When he found out what he wanted to do, his mama said, girl, his grades have went. I mean, it's like having two separate kids. I
Oh,
don't know who
wow.
this little dude is. He looks like a little 11, 12-year-old man right now. And he is into it. And that's why it's important. And I think it's important when you talk about Black women in technology. Does it start at a certain age? When ought they be introduced to it? Because he's 11 years old. He's not a girl. And he sees the vision. He sees what you see.
Well, I think one of the things you need to recognize that there are some skills that you can notice that kids are doing when they're younger.
Mhm.
For example, I told my grandson he's going to be an engineer. He said he's not, but he is going to be an engineer. So to have an affinity
Oh, and
towards
she's
something,
not bossy. Okay.
somebody has to help him. But to have an event of an affinity to doing things like putting Legos together,
Mhm.
being quick and getting your Lego together, having an imagination to build things, having an imagination to talk about certain things,
Mhm.
critically make decisions. Those types of things show an aptitude towards being able to critically think.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things we have to instill in our kids, how to critically think. And it's very interesting. I don't think I understood how to critically think until I became a respiratory therapist, because of how you have to, in your mind, you have an algorithm in your mind. You go
Mhm.
down each part of this algorithm so that you can figure out what to do with the patient, because
Mhm.
everything's not black and white. There's some gray, there's some yellow, there's some green in there. So you have to make the right decisions at the right time to be able to help somebody.
Mhm.
So that type of thinking has to come from, I think it's like it's almost has to come from you somewhere. You get trained
Mhm.
to do it based
Mhm.
on what you're doing. So in school, I don't know, because I haven't been in elementary school in 60 years. So I don't know how they teach the kids how to critically think. They put them in projects, they put them into project groups and have them develop their own projects and things like that.
Mhm.
So, if that's the case, that's a good way to go. But I think starting out younger, they come out anyway, knowing how to work the devices. My granddaughter was 18 months old, knew how to get the iPad, knew how to go to Netflix, knew how to pick out her show that she wanted to see. 18 months old, can hardly talk.
but she could hit those buttons. And my big concern about how fast that they're developing and growing with the technology is losing the humanity that we ought to have, because the machines can do pretty much anything. I tell you, when I'm talking to the AI, I'm like, okay, I want a recipe for this from Mother Love. It's faster than me asking the computer, and that's what's freaky. And about our human connection, because the machines can do so much, and depending on it so much, is it going to take away, or do you see it taking away our humanity? And how, if so, how do we hold on to that? Because I mean, they could listen. I had one of these. Remember? Yeah, you old enough to remember this. Remember the princess phones, that the French phones that they had?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
I had one. Girl, that was just beautiful. It was champagne with the gold dial, and
yes.
and it was working. And so our grandchildren don't live with us, but they know they're always home with us. They come in. They don't have to. I told them, don't bring no. If you don't bring, they got clothes here in the whole 9 yards. So when they first got into the room, oh my goodness, it was like with the princess from the what is it? The one and the frog. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Princess and the Frog.
Princess and the Frog. Okay, and it was all dolled up, and I'm a doll collector, and I've collected I don't know how many dolls, and it's worth a fortune. I will, just so you know, just so y'all know, that's my doll collection. That's my toy collection. The kids think it's for them and don't touch it. So anyway, the girls come in, and we have two granddaughters and two grandsons. So the fellas' room was what they did, and the girls' room was my. Okay, so I got the French phone over there, and it plugged into the wall. They don't make those anymore. You know that, right? You
Yes,
can't get.
yes.
So the youngest granddaughter, she was looking around the room, and she said, "This is so pretty. I love it," because I clap when I'm happy, like that's my paper. So I'm there. She goes over. She said, "What's this?" I said, "That's a telephone." She snatched the plug out the water. Told me, "That's not a telephone." I was like, "You can't smack the grandbaby. You got to keep up with technology." My husband said, "It's useless. Throw it away." I'm like, "I'm never throwing this away. Bury it with me, and I don't want to be buried with nothing. I don't even want to have clothes on.
Oh
None of that."
God.
She said, "That's not a phone," because she's used to. There's no cord.
Absolutely.
They don't even teach cursive writing in school. They go by the font. That's not.
Yes. Yeah.
So, how nervous are we ought to be, or should we be nervous about the fast-paced movement of the internet, and why is it important for Black women to embrace technology?
Well, I think to keep the humanness about ourselves,
Mhm.
that's going to continue through family relationships, keeping relationships with one another. I think that's what we have to look into, because technology isn't the be all to end all. It's a means by which you get from point A to point B. That's the way we have to think about it. And to keep that humanness, we need to be able to continue to foster relationships, have relationships with our family, and go from there.
Mhm.
And I still think Black women should get into technology, because it puts you in a whole nother mind space, puts you in a whole nother, bracket, tax bracket. It puts you in a place where you can be comfortable. There's
Mhm.
nothing worse than trying to understand. I used to try to understand why my white friends would have a house, but we didn't have a house. We lived in an apartment or something, because they are in the jobs. They're in those jobs where they can make the money to do those things. Well, it's time for us to be in those jobs as well.
Mhm.
And that's what the technology advancements and all for Black women in tech, that's what it does. And that's the encouraging thing that I'm trying to do for women. Black Women in Tech has a program called 1000 Women Rising in Technology.
Mm.
And the program is to encourage women who are poorly employed, underemployed, underrepresented, gives them an opportunity to learn technology to the extent that they can move into a tech job.
Mm-hmm.
So that can be a game changer for them in their lives and for the children, because they can start to show their children can look up to them and see the things that they're doing, to be able to encourage them to go a direction in STEM. So that's one of the things that I think is important for us to do. It's trickle down. It trickles down, goes from the mom, husband, father,
Mm-hmm.
trickles down into the children. My son-in-law is a desktop support person, and my grandson, really enjoys working with his dad, tinkering with things,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what his dad does. So that's why I think it's important for us to be those examples, set the example. If you're going to work in tech, work in tech. If you're going to be a leader in leadership, work in operations, do that. But it's something that we need to do, and it's something we need to make sure that we aspire to.
What are some of the pitfalls that you see with young people coming up, and especially young black women coming up through tech? What do you see are their greatest obstacles, and what kind of advice would you give them to overcome those obstacles? Because I'll be the first one to tell you, I was totally intimidated by technology, and I'm not intimidated by. And it was mostly, and I learned this, my therapist told me, because just like you said, you're bossy. She tells me I'm a control freak and I think very highly of myself. And I went, okay, what's the problem with that? My nephew told me one day, I couldn't believe he said this to me. He said, Auntie, you are so bougie. And I went, what? Where did you get that? What? Nobody in my life ever said that to me. And I said, well, why would you say that, baby? He said, because uh, you believe you should have the best of everything. And I went, okay, well, yeah, if that's bougie in your mind, absolutely, that
Absolutely.
would be me. And
Hmm.
ever since he said that, I was like, really? Aren't we supposed to believe we should have the best of everything, whether it's in our families and our personal relationships and with our jobs, with the creativeness and what we put out there? Okay, now you said, when you go in, that was just okay. We listen, Lori, we just bougie, and I'm comfortable with it. Matter of fact, we bossy bougie.
Bossy
What
bougie.
we bossy bougie? See, it just comes up sometimes. Sometimes I can say some real genius stuff. Girl, you know what? You bossy bougie. And that's what Lori Mitchell told me. She was bossy and I'm bougie.
There you go. There you go.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If I don't think that I'm all that in a chip factory, there's no way that I'm going to get you to believe that you too can be all that in a chip factory. And you put your factory right next to mine. We have adjoining factories. And that's one of the things that that really bothers me in our community, that and I see it coming out, and and it's getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and pretty soon it's gonna dissipate, that awful line that says we cannot work together.
Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And some
But
people
we
have got to
can, Lori, we can.
we
We
can.
absolutely, don't you absolutely, well, wait a minute, she got the coolest business card. It took me a minute to figure out. I'm like, why is it all that? And I realized it was coding. So
Yes.
that's and it's a beautiful. It is absolutely. What prompted you to say, "Okay, I'm tired of this. I need to start my own company"?
Well, I was the only one working in my department, the only black woman working in my department. And I would look around and I was confused, because I figured if I can do this, somebody else black can do this.
Mhm.
It's not that hard. We should be able to do this. And I started Black Women in Technology so I could bring us all together, so we could share if we were having difficulty at work, or if we needed to have a job, if we needed to talk about our resumes, getting things together. doing those types of things. If we had to do that, we could do that as a group, and we could get exposed to tech as a group.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started Black Women in Tech in Los Angeles in 2014. The nerve and the unmitigated gall of me to start this.
Wait a minute. I have not heard they used to. Oh my goodness. I have not heard that. And I don't know how long, because they used to say that to the nerve and the unmitigated gall. I didn't know what it meant. So, I had to go to the dictionary, to the source. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's why we bossy and bougie. Okay. So
That's
you
it.
had the nerve, the unmitigated gall. How dare you, young woman, think that you could do this? And what did you say you were going to do?
I did it. I did it. I was in Los Angeles and Culver City. And I sat there and I went on my computer and I created everything. It was October 4th, 2014. And I submitted my Meetup. I went to Meetup
Mhm.
and I put Black Women in Technology.
Mhm.
And immediately, by the weekend was over, there's 40 women that signed up. So
So,
there was a need. There was a need. There was this grouping needed to happen. And that's what we did in Los Angeles. And it's so easy to do in Los Angeles. That's one of the reasons why I miss Los Angeles. It's a little harder out here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. But it was easy to do in Los Angeles. And there were a lot of good people out in LA who, tech is huge in LA.
mhm.
Tech is huge. And all you got to do is say, "Can we come over there for no fee?" And they go, "Come on over,"
Mhm.
because they were really willing and wanting Black women and Blacks in general to be involved in their
Mhm.
activities. So that's what we did.
I want to give a big shout out to, and your organization, to Layla Christine.
Yes.
We've known each other probably since, well, I think I was here before she was here, but I remember when her boys were little boys, and
Oh,
we always stayed in touch. And you know how when people are cool with you, you might not talk to them yesterday or the year before, but when you do talk to them, you pick up right where you left off. Like there was no time, there was no time left. There was no time. We filled the time gap. And and she's always been like that. And she's the one. Thank you, Layla, my sweetie pie. She said, "I want you to meet Lori Mitchell." And I said, "Okay." She said, "Oh, mother love, you're gonna love her. You're gonna love her." And I was just sitting there watching you and listening to you on the panel with all the young people, including one of her sons. And I talked to the moderator. We were coming into the venue, and he and his wife, and my husband and I, we got to talking. And it was like, oh yeah, I know I'm supposed to be here. And I don't go to a lot of them, since the pandemic, And
right.
so it was just so wonderful to see all of you smart, bright, intelligent leaders, visionaries, and you were willing to share it with us. I mean, you didn't have to do that. You all the way back in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You done flowed all. That's what my niece used to say. I'm gonna flow. I done flowed all the way across the country to see you. I said, no, you flew. Yeah, that's what I said. I flowed. I don't argue. Let them have. We have our own language. What would you say to young people who sometimes, their brains are moving at 100 miles an hour faster than us? I didn't realize that our grandchildren didn't understand how come Barack Obama was not still the president. That was the only president they grew up with. And it was like, well, why ain't he the president? I'm like, maybe it doesn't work like that. And that got them interested in politics.
Yes.
You never
Yes.
know when it's going to click. What would you say to these young girls and also our young guys? Because tech is tech. It doesn't show. You don't need that, to spell your race, creed, color, but what's in your mind and how you can fix this and make the O's and the ones. And when I found out it was just the O's and the ones, I said, it's going to really be hell to tell the captain when they start throwing in 3s, 4s, and 5s and the rest of the numbers. We ain't never going to figure it out. And we only got numbers.
Quantum computing adds a 3 and a 4.
Okay.
So quantum computing is next. And they're working on that right now.
See, See, I shouldn't have said nothing. See, they always take my idea. Take it off the shelf.
But what I would tell them, I
What
would
was
tell them to, it's nothing wrong with being a nerd. There's nothing wrong with being the one that is the smartest in the class, the one that pays attention, the ones that put their heads down, the ones that do the work. There's nothing wrong with that. And I ask them to embrace it, to embrace the nerd, embrace their geek, their inner geek, embrace that, because your life is going to be better for it in the end, because there's a future. It's hard for kids to see the future, but the
Mhm.
future's out there, and somebody has to look out for them when it comes to the future. And that's what we need to do as parents and grandparents: help our kids shape their own future.
And it's not just our kids, it's the children of the future. We got a generation becoming behind. Our son is behind us. His children are behind him. Their children will be behind them. We have to keep the foundation strong for the next generations. Lori Mitchell, it has been so awesome to talk to you. Please know you are always welcome here. Tell people how they can get in touch with you. They need to have some, the importance of Black women in technology. Gotta check out the website, y'all. It is awesome. I still want my pink. I love it.
Yeah. Go to our website at blackwomenintech.com. You can also contact me at Lori, Lori, at blackwomenintech.com. And we can get a conversation going and seeing how we can serve you.
This, you know how much I look. Kisses in love with your Black women in technology pink. I still want my pink eye. And send me the pink fingernails too. Thank you all so very much. Lori, you are such a blessing. Thank God for you. Thank God for you. And tell your mom and them and all your people that we said we love you. Ain't nothing you could do about that. We right in here with this baby. And remember, you could catch Mother Love on all the platforms. You could see Mother Love. You could see the bossy Lori Mitchell and the bourgeoisie Dr. Mother Love, because that's what we do. We bossy and bougie. I'm going to get a t-shirt made for that. I'll send you one.
That's cool.
Peace. Okay. Peace and blessings. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Remember this. No matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs some Mother Love now and then. Peace, babies.